Green dub and green rain.
And this is
Green brain.
All right, guys. Welcome back to the channel. All right, this is gonna be like a part two. This is still talking about the Qara haQodesh, which is the holy call that Adam and Eve and Abdiel sent out with the drums made of the hollow wood. And I want to talk about that, and I'm going to try to speed through this so I could show you a little bit why I think that Hollywood has a lot to do with them sending out their own call. And I think they stole that whole Hollywood symbolism because this, did I show you right here? Look at what page number this is, 144. And it talks about the 144. Now this is the end. This is after Abdiel meets Isha, because if you watch the last video, you'll know about their encounter and how the Lord and the lady prophesied that Isha would come to this world and be Abdiel's wife, and that Abdiel and Isha, after they were killed, they would serve as messenger angels for the tree of life, the center root and the center branch, and that they're forever mated. And so that's beautiful, because you talk about, we talk about, like, you find in your soulmate, your partner, the husband and wife thing. We see that people are married for over 40 years. Once something happens to the other one, they quickly join their partner, because it's no sense to be separated. And that's what I was saying. They're forever consorts, this Abdiel and Isha. Their names were changed when they were given the cherubic bodies. Abdiel was changed to Gabriel, and Isha's changed to Ishael. And we read in her book, just the preamble, that she became the messenger angel of the Mother Earth. Okay, so this is what I want to show you these people for. And I showed you, it says 144. So when the Qara was sounded from the center of the garden, and I'll go back there and show you, first one up the mountain was Isha, and then there was more. And this is the end of it. And it says, after they did all the drumming and they were headed on their way back up the mountain, it was 157 people in number total that had heard the Qara. Okay, first it was 10 that had heard it from the center, and these are the names. It was Rapha, well, it was Isha first, Isha, Rapha, Judah, Shira, Ada, Rhea, Elzabad, Onam, Ebed, Yasher, and the 144 converts. Because after they drummed in the center, and these first 10 people had came up to the center. I'm summing it up because it's really long. You see, it's 207 verses, but I'm going to scroll through them, and you guys can pause the video and read it. But after they drummed in the center and they meant these 10, they told the 10 to stay there. And then Abdiel, Adam, and Eve went out drumming throughout all of Cush. And after their drumming, it says that of the several hundred that gathered with that congregation, which was Abdiel, Adam, and Eve, 144 heard the Qowlayah, which is the voice of Yah from within, and they joined the Qehillah, which means congregation. And so it was 144 people only, not 144,000. And then those 10 with Abdiel, Adam, and Eve. And these 12 people became, this is what Abdiel did after. He said, when they reached the top of the mountain, they sat beneath the tree of life, and Abdiel revealed the Bar Hir Shabbathium, each of the 7 candles, just as the lamb and dove had revealed unto him. And when Abdiel revealed the fourth candle, which is the illumination of the 12 tribes of the nations of Yisrael, he named the chiefs of each tribe. So those first 10 people that had ears to hear the Qara from the center of the garden were the ones that became, I should have just stayed still, the chiefs of each tribe, of the 12 tribes. And if it was a male, his title was Zaquin, and if it was and that meant elder, and if it was a female, it was Ziquanah, and that meant eldress. Okay, and then it names them all, and I would love to do it, but let's see, I'll do a few. So Abdiel, he was the Zaquin of the tribe of priestess and priest and priestess. Abdiel, because he was the first. We read that in the video before. He said, I am the first priest of Elohim on this world. And so he was, and then his wife, Isha, she was eldress of Shevet Raphaim, which is the tribe of healers. But she was training Rapha. I didn't even get to tell you guys their story. That's what I wanted. I want you guys to know who these people were, but I'm telling you real quick that they were the first 10 who had ears to hear the Qara drumming from the center. And that's up here. And I think it's more important for you to hear that story than for me to tell you what they became the leaders of, because the story tells you. So this is all the way back up here, the beginning of the chapter, when they had went down the mountain, and then they met a woman right at the top. They didn't even go. It says before they had gone far, while still near the center of the garden atop the mountain, they met a woman, and her name was Isha. And it says she was a Qadisha. And this is a whole video I'm going to do on this Qadisha stuff, because it's important. But they're telling us that it means holy woman. She was a holy woman. She was the perfection of womanhood on this planet. And the breakdown really tells you that Shah means woman as distinct from man. And that's what the perfection of womanhood on this planet. It's like a motherly soul. And it says specifically here, for a woman to have Isha as a personal name is a strong declaration of the absolute and profound femininity of that woman, with the definite implication of perfected womanhood. So she heard the drumming. She was on her way up. It says I read this in the last video, she had danced this dance in other embodiments on other worlds, for she had long served the Lord and Lady and was no stranger to the blessed day of play. So for it to just tell us all of that about Isha, that she had been long serving the Lord and Lady, and she was able to hear the Qara, and that's what the definition of the most pure is that you have already been serving the Lord and Lady. That's the same with the rest of the 10 that heard it, because they were on their way up there too, but some men that was working for Lucifer stopped them from coming up there. And the first one they stopped, her name was Rapha. She heard the call, and she was on her way up there, but these men beat her up. They broke her legs. Look, they pushed her to the ground, broke her legs, and so she could not escape. They were about to rape her, but then this dude Judah came, and he fought them, because he said, I am called from within to ascend the holy mountain. Well, that was what Rapha said to Judah. And she said, but these men forbid me to pass, and they beat me and broke my legs. So Judah said, I am called to help this woman. And it says, it's right here, Judah replied, I too am called from within to take this path up the mountain. And so he had to fight these guys. And when Rapha was just there on the ground with broken legs, he fought them, right? And it says that He defeated them. And that was when Ishah had came upon them. So Rapha was the first one to hear the call. She just got beat up. Then Judah came, stopped the men from raping her. And then when he was defeating them, that's when Ishah came up. And then Ishah said, stay with her. I'm going to go get these healing herbs that grow atop the mountain. And that's when Ishah met Abdiel and them, because she started to go up. And Judah and Rapha were waiting for her to get back. And then more came, the 10. Shira, Ada, Rhea, Onam, Ebed, Yashar, and Elzabad. So there was 3 men, there was 3 women and 4 men who had heard the Qara, and they were on their way up the mountain. And I think they were all just like this Ishah, because they had ears to hear the Qara that was being played in the center of the garden. Okay, and these are the leaders of the 12 tribes. I'll put their names in the description box so you can see. But these are the leaders with Adam and Eve, Abdiel, Ishah. I'll read their names again. So Adam and Eve and Abel, plus these 10, which was Ishah, Rhea, Judah, Rapha, Shira, Ada, Elzabad, Onam, Ebed, and Yashar. They become the leaders of the 12 tribes. So they all didn't have the same father. This story is completely different, but that's what the Qara was, the holy call. And I wanted to talk about the Qehillah, and I will in the next video. I'll make it all about that and that Hollywood call. But I just realized that it talks about the 144 converts, and then they were taken, they followed after they heard the call. All of these, they went with Abdiel up to the top of the mountain, and then they were named, the first 10, they were named the leaders of the 12 tribes. And that's fresh. And they also, after they were killed, some of them, most of them became angels, cherubims. And there's a whole nother thing on that I'm going to show you guys a little bit. But this is where they just formed this village with the 144 and the 12 tribes and the 12 people that we just named. And they named it Jerusalem, which means foundation of peace. And it was the first Nasarean Qowlayah on this world. All right. And I don't know, this original Jerusalem was located in what today is called Ethiopia, it says. All right. And so it says the later, don't be confused with the latter city in Israel, also named Jerusalem, but that city might have been named after this ancient Ethiopian city. All right, guys. So that was the leaders, the 12 tribes, 144, and all those who had ears to hear the Qara haQodesh, the holy call that were made with the drums, that was given with hollow wood from a holy tree. That was chapter 18 in the Holy Megillah Nazarene Bible of the Essene Way, the Qara haQodesh. Stay tuned for some more good information about these Qehillahs. I'm going to show you guys how the Qehillahs also remind me of the geishas. Yes, I'm on this phonetics. I'm telling you, if it sounds the same phonetically, most likely they have a connection. And that's what I'm showing here with everything, how some of these things phonetically match up. And then when you go into the definitions, you see that it's talking about the same thing. These women were called prostitutes too, thanks to Hollywood. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. That's gonna be on my next video though. Stay tuned, guys. Thanks for watching.
Green